Today's Daily Dose of Math is about the common denominator versus the lowest common denominator. There are two different approaches that students can take to answer a question like this. They can just go for a common denominator, or they can try to get the lowest common denominator. Either of these can lead to correct answer and full marks. So it's okay for the student to choose their favorite method. But let's compare them and see what happens. To get a common denominator, the quickest shortcut that my students really like is to just multiply the two denominators you already have. So 9 times 3 is 27. Our common denominator is going to be 27. So we write both of these fractions so that they have 27 as their denominator. Of course, we have to expand the fractions. 9 times 3 is 27, 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 9 is 27, 1 times 9 is 9. We end up being able to add the 3 plus the 9 and get 12 over 27. And we have a correct answer. But is it our final answer? Not if we're required to reduce to lowest terms. 12 over 27, these two numbers have a common factor of 3. So if I divide both top and bottom by 3, I get 4 over 9, and that is the final answer. It's a better answer than this because it has been reduced, but depending on what you're doing, sometimes this will still be considered good enough. Let's play it safe and reduce our answers when we can. Now that's the common denominator. What happens if we look for the lowest common denominator? Well, our first trick was to just say 9 times 3 is 27, and it gets us a common denominator. The lowest common denominator, the trick to finding that is to take your 9 and your 3 and to find the multiples of each. So for 9, we have 9, 18, 27, 36, and it goes on. For 3, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and it goes on. Notice that 18 is in both lists, but so is 9. We're looking for the smallest number that's in both lists, and that is, in this case, 9. So that means we can put both of our fractions over a 9 instead of a 27. This one's already over 9. So 1 over 9 is 1 over 9. This one, we have to turn the 3 into a 9 by multiplying it by a 3, so the 1 is also multiplied by a 3, and we get 3 over 9. When we add them, we get 4 ninths, which means that we don't have to reduce. So this time, what happened was choosing to find the lowest common denominator and use it meant that we did not have to reduce the fraction at the end. So it saved us a step, but the first step was a little longer. This saved us a step at the beginning, but then we had to do the step anyway at the end. Really, it doesn't matter which of these two methods you choose, they're both good. Let's try it again with the subtraction. Subtractions also require common denominators. This time we have 11 over 12 minus 1 over 3. If we use the trick of multiplying the two denominators, 12 times 3 is 36. So our common denominator is 36. We put both fractions over 36. 12 times 3 is 36, 11 times 3 is 33, 3 times 12 is 36, 1 times 12 is 12, 33 minus 12 is 21, but 21 over 36 can be reduced. We were expecting that. They have a common factor of 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7, 36 divided by 3 is 12, 7/12 is our final answer. What if we use this method? We have 12 and 3, let's find our multiples. 12 has 12, 24, 36, 48, and it goes on. 3 has 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and it goes on. The lowest number that's on both lists is the 12. So we put both of our fractions over 12 instead. 11 over 12 is already over 12. 3 to turn into 12 has to multiply by 4, so my 1 is multiplied by a 4, and I have a 4 here. 11 minus 4 is 7/12. I have my final answer, and I didn't have to reduce it. But I had this extra step to do at the beginning. Here, I got into a common denominator quickly, but then I had an extra step at the end to reduce my fraction. Again, either of these methods is fine, so long as you make sure that when you get to an answer, that it can't be simplified, in this case, reduced. Don't miss the opportunity to reduce the fractions in your final answers. That is today's Daily Dose of Math. Please like, subscribe, and share.